It's something different. It's that voice inside of me. No more feeling empty. No more rushing. No more pretending to be someone else. No more searching. I have one life. I can live an amazing life. I can be free. What if less is more? Less stress, less debt, less of arguments, less of proving your worth, and more of time, more happiness, more peace, more money. That's what minimalism can offer you. Discover how minimalism can grow your business and life. Go to aminimalistentrepreneur.com. Each week, a minimalist entrepreneur with your host, Zurika, aims to connect you with real successful people who share their success strategies that you can use in your business. So, here's Zurika.
Hello everybody, this is Zurika from A Minimalist Entrepreneur. I hope you are all excited to listen to today's episode because the lady who's going to be speaking to us is Holly. Now, Holly comes from a company where she has started her own business. It's called thelandofbrand.com, and you should actually go to that website because it is so full of energy. It has so much of a vibrancy. It has imagination as well. And I'm excited because Holly is not your standard graphic designer, for example, who is going to speak only on a specific kind of topic. She is vibrant, she's bubbly, she's energetic, and above all, she's very, very practical. So with that, let's invite Holly on the call.
Thank you.
And thank you, Holly, for actually being here today. So before we get started, in your own words, if you could let us know what you do for a living, that would be awesome.
Sure. So I work with a lot of coaches and online entrepreneurs, like many of the people listening, I'm sure. And what I do is I work with them on defining what their brand is, so how they want to be perceived, what it is they're selling, who they're selling it to, and really communicating that value through their website. So we offer brand strategy planning as well as the actual website design and delivery service as well.
Awesome. And is it right from, like, if in case someone has a design already in mind, but they've not actually thought of it from a branding perspective? Like, sometimes I guess we look at a particular template and then we say we want something similar to that. How do you work with clients such as those?
So what we do is we work with the client first on what their overall strategy is. So how do you want someone to feel when they come to your site? What is your message? Who do you serve? And all of those strategic pieces. Mm-hmm. And then we look at the design. They bring us sites that just aesthetically appeal to them. They find them beautiful. They personally resonate with the colors or the imagery, as well as maybe they see a site that has certain functionality that they want. And we kind of consider all of those pieces and bring it all together into one design. So incorporating some of the pieces that they specifically requested, as well as some of the pieces that we strategically recommend to make sure that the site's not only gorgeous, but it also has a really marketing strategic background that's going to serve them well.
Cool. So with that, what I have requested Holly is to spend her valuable time allowing us all to be able to take action right from day one. And what Holly has volunteered to actually do is to speak on a topic which is getting it all done without doing it all at once. And I thought it had a huge value for all of us who are going to be listening on the call, as well as for me, because sometimes I guess we have a lot to do with time management, but we don't really prioritize stuff. And Holly did mention that she's not an expert on productivity, but she's used these strategies and these tips in her own business while building thelandofbrand.com. So with that, Holly, if I'll give it up to you to actually cover that topic.
Absolutely. So being a website designer, we're working with a lot of different projects at once. So productivity it's kind of my unspoken expertise because in order to manage all of those different projects while growing our own business is definitely a challenge. And I know that I'm not alone in that. So something that really holds a lot of online entrepreneurs back is this idea of productivity and this feeling that they have to do everything. They have to get everything done. I need to do my marketing. I need to create that program. I need to do all of my client work. I need to grow my business. And there's just too much to do, so much so that you get overwhelmed and then you don't take action. You don't move forward because you're not really sure where to start. So I've come up with this methodology that I use in my own business, and I also teach it to my clients, and I call it the productivity cycle. So it's the idea of cycling through activities and priorities instead of trying to do it all at the same time. We choose the priorities of now, and then we go through this 3-month cycle that I'd like to share with you. So basically, the kind of big picture cycle is planning, executing, and then reflecting. So you're going to plan what you're doing. You plan your project. You plan whatever it is you have to do in order to reach your goal. You execute on that project. You implement, and then at the end of the 3 months, you reflect and you figure out what worked, what didn't work, and then you move on to the next cycle. So that's kind of the big picture, and I'll get more defined and specific on how to do this. But I wanted to kind of give you the big picture first.
Mm-hmm.
So most online entrepreneurs, they want everything done yesterday.
Yes.
They just, they don't have the patience. They don't know how to do all of these things that they have on their plate. So they just wish it was all finished. So I implore you to set appropriate expectations with yourself. What I like to say is, nature doesn't do it all at once. Why should you? We have seasons, we have growth cycles, we have all of these different things in nature. And if nature tried to do it all at once, it would just be this ginormous mess. So take a step back, take a breath, and be willing to set appropriate expectations for yourself and trust the cycle. Your blood pressure will thank you later. So the first step that I talked about was planning. Mm-hmm. So the first step of your cycle is to plan your projects. And basically what you want to do is write down, what are your goals? So even though you have all this million-mile long list of to-dos, put that aside for now, and what are your goals?
So the planning is, what are your goals, yeah?
This is the first step of the planning, is identify what do you want to accomplish as far as business growth, so revenue, number of clients, marketing activities. What do you want to accomplish in the next 90 days? And then when you take those goals, you prioritize which ones are the most important to you. So if you're starting out, obviously revenue is going to be super important. If you're already established and your revenue is going well and you need to leverage, then leveraging is what's most important. So you need to identify, what do you need right now in order to be able to move forward in your business. And then what you do is you break that down into projects. So a project is, so let's say my goal is that I want to start leveraging my business. So I actually want to cut my one-on-one client list down by half, mm-hmm. and be able to maintain that revenue with a passive product. That's a pretty big goal.
Yeah.
So if we were to break that down into projects, well, what do I need to do in order to leverage? Well, first, I need to create a product. I need to create the product that is going to bring in that passive revenue. That's one project. Another project would be, I need to launch that product. I need to create a system where I can sell it. That's another project. A third project might be, okay, now I need to start dialing back my one-on-one clients. And once you've done those 3 projects, you've achieved that goal. So now we put those projects in order. So first one is creating the product. Second one is delivering that product and generating revenue. And the third one is dialing back your one-on-one client work so that you've essentially replaced that income now with the passive income. The passive product. Mm-hmm. So you prioritize based on what are your goals, and then what is the step-by-step process that you have to take in order to get there. And then you pick your first project and you chunk that down. So a project is defined as it has a deliverable and multiple steps. So if I take the first project, which is creating my product, the deliverable is the product itself, and then you kind of back it down from there. So before I have the product, what do you need? And you kind of start developing what are the steps of creating that product.
Yeah.
So it might be that you need to choose what the product is going to be. So the title, what is creating the outline, what is the format of the course, actually creating the course. So there's all of these different steps that go into it, and you write all of those down. And now you have a mile-long to-do list, right?
Yeah.
So how did I just help you? The difference is now your to-do list is, for this project, is in order. So the number one thing that holds entrepreneurs back from moving forward that I mentioned at the beginning is not knowing what to do first. But if you've put these steps into order, you know what to do first, and you can now start working on one at a time. And the idea here is you set realistic expectations. So how long is it going to take you to create this product? How long is it going to take you to finish this first project? And you start putting due dates on those deliverables, due dates on your to-do list. And if that's going to take you 1 month, and then it'll take you a month to launch, and then a month to the
marketing.
The third, the marketing and the third phase. So you basically create your project, you execute on that project, and then when you're finished, you look back and say, okay, what worked, what didn't work. A lot of times, doing more than one project in a 90-day period is usually what doesn't work.
Yes.
Because you just give yourself too much work. So you reflect on that and say, okay, this was too much work for this quarter. What could I revise for the next quarter to make sure that this doesn't happen again?
And this is so amazing that you have actually broken it down this way. And I'll just take 2 minutes of your time, Holly. When we started a minimalist entrepreneur, obviously we still have full-time jobs. And while doing a corporate job, coming back home, having time with the person that you want to spend your life with, friends, family members, you can't do a lot of stuff. So we had to be very, very agile and very focused. So we recognize that the first thing we need to do is obviously to be able to figure out what is it that our community wants. So it was like, survey, what will that survey questions be? How long do we want to give it for the survey? Once we knew that, then it was about actually saying, okay, who are the people who would add value to our community? Make a list of them, approach them, have those conversations with them, book time slots to have the interviews, such as yourself. Then from there, it's about being able to say, all right, now what's our next goal, which is about from a revenue perspective. But, trying to do everything at once, like doing the survey, trying to have a family life, trying to do your full-time role, trying to approach people, it really was a mishmash. Like you can't really focus. So what you're saying is actually you become more productive. I mean, you feel that you're achieving every day. And so you're excited rather than being burnt out.
Exactly. And then the other half of that is the expectation, being appropriate with your expectations and not expecting too much of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can be okay with that and know that you're going to reassess in 90 days, you're going to do your best to complete this project, it takes a lot of the pressure off. And sometimes that pressure also keeps you from taking action and moving forward, because there's so much riding on it. You don't want to be a failure. You don't want to, be at the end of the 9 days, have nothing done. So you don't start because you're just afraid that if I start and I don't get there, then I'm a failure. If I don't start ever, then I didn't actually do anything. So I didn't fail. I didn't succeed, but I didn't actually fail on anything. So being appropriate with your expectations and allowing yourself that space to know that I'm going to take action, try this out, I'm going to experiment, and then I'm going to reflect at the end of the 90 days and see what worked and what didn't work, relieves a lot of that pressure.
Yeah, that's true. Yes. And the classic example is lately a few of our, as friends, we want to achieve a particular goal, like from a team perspective, not for a minimalist entrepreneur. This is a completely different kind of a gig that we're all doing. But because I think internally I want to win, with the rest of the team, we have not actually started because we get scared that we might, if we put our names down, then if we lose, it's a big failure. So we've not actually started. And what you're saying right now is making so much sense, because for the last 1 week, we've only been talking about it. And the reason being is because we don't want others to feel that we are going to fail. I mean, internally, I think that's what's going on in our mind, because we just have another 25 days to achieve the goal and we've not started.
Oh, no.
So thank you.
Well, I can guarantee that if you don't start, you're not going to win.
Yeah. So I need to go back and reevaluate this whole thing. But thank you, because you've just reiterated and it's happening in real time for me.
How appropriate.
Yes. So thank you for that. And yeah, so I guess for everyone who's listening on the call, if you also laughed at some of the follies that I'm doing and how Holly has been so enlightening, then you must go to her website, which is thelandofbrand.com. Because Holly speaks from the perspective of a chilled out attitude, but she actually gives you the message, and why not actually work with someone who can relate to you, who would be able to help you to take that idea of yours, create it as a brand, have it reflect on your online work so that people can see you as the person. So for that, you need to actually have a good partner who can understand you, who is going to give you direction, just not only from a design perspective, but also from a business point of view. And so all I would say is go to her website, which is thelandofbrand.com. And so on behalf of everyone, Holly, I want to thank you for giving us your time and for such a beautiful topic. Is there anything else that you would like to say before we close for the day?
Sure. First, I'd like to thank you for having me. This was fantastic and so much fun. You are fantastic and you have a wonderful community. So I'm really excited for you.
Thank you.
And if anyone has any questions, feel free to shoot me an email, holly@thelandofbrand.com. I also have everything I talked about in slide format as a PowerPoint. So if you weren't able to take notes fast enough and you want to look at it visually, just shoot me an email. I'd be happy to send that to you.
Awesome. And yes, on Holly's website as well, you do have the opportunity, because she does have a few free webinars on her site as well. So it would be good for you to register for one of her webinars so that you can actually relate to her again, and do contact her. So with that, on behalf of my brother Neil, myself and Holly, I would like to thank you for taking the time of your life to listen to this audio recording. At the same time, if you feel a friend or a family member would benefit from this, you know what to do. It's about sharing. It will not only help me, but it will also help Holly to get her brand known in the community. I wish you peace, happiness and wealth, and more than ever, I want you to have a big smile on your face right now so that you can actually share that energy with everyone in your community. So it's Zurika signing out from A Minimalist Entrepreneur. Bye for now.
If you want to live an amazing life and grow a business that serves you, then visit aminimalist.entrepreneur.com and sign up for laser-focused strategies discussed by well-renowned entrepreneurs. Be free. Own your life. You deserve it.